Good morning, everybody. Good morning, or good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this video. My name is Kelly. Hopefully you guys know me. This is my place. Not this. I just film in my car in case you're new, because usually I have epiphanies while I'm working out, and I want to share those with my peeps. And so I will just film at the end of my workout, or when I drive home, and then right before I go to my house and get my day started. That's what works for me, in case you're new here and you're wondering, why am I in my car? So anyway, that works for me. But I want to talk about something because in the past 2 weeks, I have had several people pose a form of this question as they are working on their goals, and it dawned on me this morning that this is probably good information for everybody to hear. So it relates to weight loss versus fat loss. We're just going to get into it, okay? A lot of women, we have been coached, and you have to understand this if you are approaching some type of physical transformation, that so many women approach it from a standpoint of strictly wanting to see the number on the scale go down. Now, this is a very complex thing that is trying to happen, or that people are trying to make happen, and it is not one-dimensional at all. And it's something that it's very important that people understand that, because it will be, let's see if this is better. That's a little bit better. But it to me is one of the biggest contributing factors to people getting frustrated and then giving up, because they feel like they're doing all this work and nothing is happening. And so it's very important that people understand this concept, especially women, because we are the ones who seem to be affected by this the most, in that we've been coached that we need to weigh a certain amount, and in order to accomplish that, we got to do these crazy things, and we got to eat low calorie or eat no carbs, and it's just crazy talk. It's just crazy talk. So let's just get something out of the way. Your goals that you're hoping to achieve, you think that they have to do with weight loss, meaning what does the scale number say? The reality is that your goals that you are hoping to achieve have everything to do with fat loss, because usually women want to weigh a certain amount because they believe that is going to cause them to look a certain way. When you begin to migrate away from this idea of thinking that, you will do yourself such a world of good, because number on the scale, hardly ever when we get into body transformations, especially changing body composition through exercise and diet, that number has very little to do with how a female looks. The body has a set point that it wants to weigh, and that weight has to do with your bones, your blood volume, your organs, your fat tissue, your muscle tissue. It has everything to do. So when you are getting on the scale to weigh yourself, you are weighing, how much does brain weigh? How much do kidneys weigh? How much does my blood weigh? How much water am I holding on to today? It is a reflection of the total package. It has it has very little to do, and is not going to show you how much fat you are losing. Fat, we have determined, is the thing in the body that, when in excess amounts, when it's present in copious amounts, that is the thing that seems to cause a lot of problems. In the belly area, the abdomen area, when we get this visceral fat, that's the stuff that's surrounding your organs, that can be problematic, because that usually will translate to some type of heart disease, or the presence of some type of thing that is going to be problematic later. It's just not good to have copious amounts of body fat. And so also, when we look at the female figure, because that's who I'll speak to directly, because we are the ones who seem to get caught up in this and lose sight of big picture. But when we are wanting to change our body because we want our body, I hear so many women say, I just want to tone up. I don't want to get big and bulky. I just want to tone up. In order to tone up, you are hoping to drop body fat enough that a muscle will be present, because these female bodies that we look at and admire, these cover models, these fitness magazines, these are women who, if you knew how much they weighed, you would probably be really surprised, because if we're looking at a female who lifts weights, they probably weigh a lot more than you would think. They have, however, very low body fat levels. Or not very low, they can have very low, but they have lower body fat levels. So it's very important, you got to change your talk track in your head to be less concerned about what that scale is saying and more concerned about what are your body fat levels. Because when we drop body fat, that's when all this beautiful stuff starts happening with our figure. Our waist gets smaller, our butt is a little bit perkier, hopefully. We're losing inches. That is what is happening. Because if you're just strictly concerned about body weight, when your body weight drops, especially if you're doing it in unhealthy ways, what probably is happening is you're dropping a lot of water weight, on top of which you are probably losing a significant amount of muscle, which means that in order to continue progress like you're making right now, you're going to have to continue to drop calories because your muscles, you have less muscle tissue, and therefore your body needs fewer calories in order to maintain its current state of homeostasis, and therefore in order to continue to see progress, you're going to have to continue to drop calories, which I don't know about you, but that ain't fun. It's more fun to be able to eat. It's also more fun to be able to go YOLO on a weekend when it was unplanned and go out and just go to a party and eat and enjoy yourself, and then not be frustrated and stressed out because you gained 20 pounds in one weekend, which I have talked to women that has happened to them before. Body weight is of very little significance when we're talking about body transformation and dropping body fat, because very oftentimes when a female starts training correctly and eating correctly, I'm talking about nutrition and training away from diet and exercise, that when a female begins to make those changes, it is very possible that she may lose 0 weight on the scale. In fact, sometimes her body weight will go up, but she looks smaller, her clothes fit better, her whole body looks better. And that is because fat is going down. However, muscle may be increasing. And so this whole gaining muscle weight, it's true. Muscle, hear this. Muscle versus fat, they weigh the same. 1 pound equals 1 pound, okay? If you have 1 pound of feathers and you have 1 pound of nails, 1 pound equals 1 pound. That's it. They weigh the same. Stop saying that muscle weighs more than fat. It takes up less space. It's more dense, so that you need more of it in order to create the same size as this weight of fat, if that makes sense. So we've got to get that out of the way. They don't weigh any different. It's just that one takes up less space. Muscle is way more dense. It's way prettier under the skin. If you have more muscle, you're going to be able to burn more calories. You're going to be able to eat more calories just simply because you need more calories to maintain your current state. Muscle, if you want to think about it, it's like a furnace, and it burns really, 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 really hot. And so in order to keep those muscles firing on all cylinders, you need more fuel in order to keep that fire burning hot. Fat doesn't really need a whole lot. It just kind of exists like this lumpy goo that exists in the atmosphere in your body, and it just doesn't need a lot of energy. It is energy in and of itself, if that makes sense. So for those that are working on a transformation, you need to do the work in order to understand, because that is a key concept, that when you begin to understand that, you're going to stress yourself out less, because the scale does not give you an accurate picture about what's happening. It is simply one metric. You know, if I'm looking at life in general, like my car, let's say for example, my car is acting up. It could be as a result of one thing, but most of the time it's probably several different things that are happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never just, it's not going to give you a total picture. Your gas mileage on your vehicle is not due to only one thing. And so when we're looking at our weight on the scale, just because it goes up, it doesn't mean that we've all of a sudden gained all this body fat overnight. You would have, 1 pound is equal to 3,500 calories, okay? So if you eat 3,500 calories less, that is equal to 1 pound, okay? Sometimes that's body fat, sometimes that's water, sometimes that's a bunch of different things. But it's not just, if you got on the scale and all of a sudden you're 5 pounds heavier, that does not mean that you consumed that extra amount of, you probably didn't consume enough. I can't even do the math. I don't even know. What's 3,500 times 5? Do the math on that, because the chances of you actually eating that amount in calories and therefore then having that type of fat gain on the scale, slim to none. It just is not, it's just not happening, y'all. That is science. So if we could please all do ourselves a favor and get away from this talk track of being so concerned about body weight, that'd be great. That'd be great. Let's start talking about it in context of fat loss, because that is the number that you want to see change. That means you're getting smaller, and that means that you're closer to meeting the goals that you want to meet. And body fat loss occurs through a calorie deficit. Not a huge one, but enough of a one that you're seeing things track down. So I hope that helps some people. If you're frustrated and you need me to break that science down further for you, I will be happy to. Just reach out to me. I'm always available to you guys. Always happy to have those conversations with you. I like having them in person more so than over the messaging thing, just because I have a hard time articulating myself as it is. It feels that way anyway. So when I'm able to talk face to face with peeps, I feel like it, I don't know, makes more sense. Hopefully. I hope. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who makes sense to. But anyway, I hope that was helpful for anybody. Kudos to everybody who's working on it, man. There's so many people that have been working on changing for the good and making things better. And just, you know, I applaud y'all. We all working on it, you know. We got goals and we trying to make something happen. So, you're beautiful. Keep it classy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope y'all have a great week. Have a great day. Bye.